Have you ever wondered why some people can walk through chaos and never flinch, while you feel every word, every glance, every silent judgment cut straight into you? It's not that they don't feel anything, it's that they've learned to stop giving the world the power to shake them. You've spent years reacting, defending, explaining, proving yourself to people who were never really listening. You've fought battles that only left you tired. You've tried to be calm, tried to be above it, but the truth is it still gets to you. The comments, the silence, the feeling that no matter how much you grow, someone will always find a way to test your peace. And that's what burns the most, isn't it? Knowing that your calm can be broken so easily that your peace depends on what someone else says or does. But what if it didn't have to? There's a kind of power that doesn't need to prove itself. It doesn't shout. It doesn't chase validation. It doesn't beg to be seen. It's quiet, controlled, untouchable. That power is what you feel when you see someone who seems immune to drama, to noise, to manipulation. They don't respond, they don't explain, they just move differently. And for a moment you wonder, what would it feel like to live like that? To not care about their opinions, their games, their need to pull you into their chaos? That's the moment your mind begins to shift. Because somewhere deep down you know that every time you react, you give them something, attention, energy, control, and you're done giving it away. Imagine what it would be like to wake up and not feel the weight of other people's expectations pressing on your chest, to walk through the day without analyzing every glance or overthinking every word, to feel peace not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer controlled by what disturbs others. That's not pretending. That's not apathy, that's freedom. And it starts the moment you stop trying to control how people see you and start mastering how you respond to them. The truth is, you don't need to win arguments. You don't need to prove your worth. You just need to understand that silence, restraint, and composure are the language of strength. But here's the hard part. Control feels unnatural at first. You'll want to react. You'll want to defend yourself, to make them understand, to show you're right. Your ego will fight it because it feeds on reaction. It loves the feeling of being seen, of being right, but power doesn't need to be right. Power just is. And when you start acting as if nothing bothers you, you take that power back. You teach your mind that not every insult deserves a response, not every situation deserves your energy. You start to see that staying calm isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's how you win wars without fighting battles. They'll notice the change. At first, they'll test you harder. They'll push, waiting for a crack in your calm. They'll want the old version of you, the one who reacted, who explained, who broke character just to feel understood. But when they realize they can't reach you anymore, something shifts. The game ends because you've stopped playing. And that's when real respect begins. Not the kind you ask for, but the kind you command, just by being unshaken. People don't respect noise, they respect control. Acting as if nothing bothers you doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you feel it, but you don't let it decide who you are. You process it privately. You let it sharpen you instead of break you. Every time you stay calm when you could have exploded, you build a layer of strength that no one can take away. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you rewrite your story. You become the kind of person whose peace is no longer negotiable. So when the world tries to pull you into chaos, remember this: they can't touch what you don't give them. They can't steal your peace unless you hand it over. The calm you seek isn't found in changing others, it's built by mastering yourself. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not to hide your feelings, but to protect your power. Because once you do, life starts moving differently. The noise fades, the doubts quiet down, and what's left is the unshakable version of you, the one who no longer reacts because they've already won. Every time you stay calm when chaos surrounds you, something inside you hardens, not into coldness, but into clarity. You start to see the truth. Hidden beneath the noise, most people are just projecting their own pain. Their anger isn't about you, their judgment isn't about you. It's a reflection of their own battles, their own insecurities clawing for control. The moment you realize that, you stop taking things personally. You stop carrying other people's chaos as if it were your own. You stop bleeding for wounds that were never yours to heal. And that's when your real transformation begins. Quiet, invisible, but powerful beyond measure. Because every reaction they pull from you feeds them. Every emotional outburst tells them they still have power over your peace. And when you take that power back, it terrifies them. They'll call you distant, emotionless, cold. But what they're really saying is, I can't control you anymore. That's what scares them. You've become the storm they can't predict, the calm they can't break. You've stepped into a space where your silence speaks louder than their noise ever could. But don't mistake calm for passivity. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things for the right reasons. It's about choosing your battles with precision. You stop reacting to every spark because you're focused on building a fire that actually matters. You realize your time, your energy, your attention, those are currencies. Every second you waste on drama is a second stolen from your purpose. You can't build an unshakable life while you're busy fighting meaningless battles. The people who seem untouchable aren't born that way. They built that control through pain, through loss, through moments that nearly broke them. They learned to sit with discomfort without letting it consume them. They stopped trying to win the approval of people who didn't even respect themselves. They learned that peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the mastery of reaction. And that mastery is built in silence, in patience, in the decision to rise above instead of sink lower. Every test you face is an invitation to prove your growth. Every insult, every challenge, every unfair moment is an opportunity to say, you don't get to move me. It's a form of self-respect that demands strength most people will never understand. Because when you stop reacting, you strip others of their power over you. You show them that your emotions are not theirs to manipulate, that your peace is not a toy, that your mind is not a battlefield for their insecurities. You become dangerous in the best way possible, unreachable, unshaken, unstoppable. And here's the truth most people avoid. The world doesn't respect the loud. It respects the composed. The one who moves in silence, makes decisions without explanation, and keeps going no matter what's thrown their way. The one who's so deeply rooted in their purpose that no wind can uproot them. That's who you're becoming every time you choose not to react. Every time you breathe instead of break. Every time you walk away instead of explain. You are rewriting your own definition of strength. But understand this, control isn't built in comfort. It's forged in the moments when everything inside you wants to fight back, when your pride screams for revenge, when silence feels unbearable. That's when real growth happens. That's when you train your mind to protect your peace like it's sacred. Because it is. Once you lose it, you lose everything. Clarity, focus, self-respect. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. One day you'll look back at the moments that once triggered you and feel nothing. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally understood what deserved your energy and what didn't. You'll smile at things that once made you crumble. You'll walk through storms and feel steady. And that's when you'll know you've mastered yourself. You've become the calm in a world addicted to noise, the peace that others crave but can't find. And in that silence you'll discover something no one can give or take away, power. Real, unbreakable power. The kind that doesn't shout. The kind that simply exists, untouchable, unstoppable, and completely your own. There will come a moment when you realize that peace isn't something you find. It's something you decide. You stop chasing it in people, in approval, in outcomes you can't control. You understand that the world will always be loud, unpredictable, unfair. But your reaction to it, that's where your freedom begins. Every second you choose calm over chaos, you're rewriting the story of who you are. You're no longer the person they can provoke, manipulate, or define. You're the one who decides what deserves your energy and what no longer gets access to it. That's not indifference. That's evolution. That's the birth of a stronger version of you. Because control isn't about never feeling. It's about feeling deeply and still staying steady. The world teaches you to explode, to shout, to defend. But real strength lives in restraint. It's in the pause before you speak, the breath before you react, the choice to protect your peace when everything around you demands you lose it. That moment of control is where power lives. And once you taste it, you'll never want to give it away again. Every time you choose silence over argument, you win. Every time you walk away from chaos instead of joining it, you rise. You may not see it right away, but you're building something far greater than victory. You're building dominance over yourself. That's the kind of control no one can teach you, no one can fake, no one can steal. It's born in pain, in patience, in the refusal to let temporary emotions destroy permanent peace. But you have to be willing to let go of what once defined you. The need to be right, the need to be liked, the need to be understood. Those are chains disguised as desires. They keep you tied to people who drain you and situations that distract you. The moment you stop needing validation, you become unstoppable. You start living on your own frequency, calm, certain, untouchable. The noise doesn't reach you anymore because you've outgrown it. You've learned that attention means nothing when it costs you peace. There's urgency in this because every day you stay reactive, you give away pieces of yourself. Every argument drains energy that could have built something meaningful. Every outburst delays your growth. Every time you let anger win, you lose control of the only thing that truly matters, your mind. The people who provoke you aren't your enemies, they're your teachers. They show you where you're still weak, where you still need to grow, where your emotions still own you. Learn from them. Let their noise become the training ground for your strength. You are not meant to be easily shaken. You are not meant to bend for every opinion or crumble under every setback. You are meant to be grounded, calm, deliberate, unwavering. You are meant to move like someone who knows their worth, who doesn't trade their energy for attention, who doesn't react to every shadow thrown at their light. Because once you understand how powerful that is, you start walking differently. You speak less, observe more, and command respect without ever demanding it. That kind of composure changes everything. It draws the right people in and pushes the wrong ones out. It clears space for clarity, for focus, for growth. It makes you dangerous, not because you're cruel, but because you're calm. The world can't control what it can't disturb. And when you reach that level of control, you start winning battles you don't even fight. Opportunities come to you. Peace becomes your default state. Power stops being something you chase. It becomes something you are. So when life throws its worst at you, stay still. When people doubt you, stay focused. When chaos tries to pull you in, stay silent. Not because you don't care, but because you've finally learned the truth. You are bigger than the noise. You are stronger than the storm. And the calm you carry inside you is the loudest statement you'll ever make. Protect it, honor it, live by it. Because the moment you master it, you stop surviving and you start leading. You weren't meant to live life on your knees, begging for peace from a world that profits from your chaos. You were meant to stand tall, unshaken, anchored in a calm so deep that nothing can drag you out of it. But that calm isn't given, it's earned. Earned through every moment you wanted to scream but stayed silent. Through every insult you didn't dignify with a reaction. Through every storm you endured without losing yourself. That's where power is born. Not in perfection, but in discipline. In the daily choice to stay composed when everything around you is burning. Because every time you break your silence to prove a point, you lose a piece of that control. And every time you keep it, you build strength that can't be taken from you. They'll never understand how hard that is, how much restraint it takes to be still while others try to pull you apart. But that's the beauty of it. They don't need to understand, they only need to feel it. They feel it when you don't chase, when you don't explain, when you don't bite back. Your stillness becomes intimidating. Your calm becomes your armor. And that armor isn't cold, it's sacred. It's built from every disappointment you've survived, every heartbreak you've outgrown, every moment you refuse to be reduced by someone else's chaos. You've learned that peace is not found in hiding from conflict, but in standing in the middle of it without losing balance. That's rare. That's powerful. That's what separates those who crumble under pressure from those who rise because of it. The world will keep testing you. It will throw noise, distractions, and doubt in your path. It will try to pull you back into the old version of yourself, the one who reacted, who overthought, who needed validation to feel secure. But that version of you is gone. You buried them the day you realized that calm isn't weakness, it's control, that silence isn't surrender, it's strategy, that peace isn't a luxury, it's survival. You have to move like your energy is gold, because it is. Every thought, every reaction, every emotion is currency. Spend it wisely. Stop giving it to people who haven't earned it. Stop feeding situations that don't build you. Stop letting anyone rent space in your head who doesn't contribute to your growth. The moment you understand that your attention is power, you stop wasting it on things that drain you. You start investing it in what makes you unshakable. This is the truth that most people never learn. It's not about controlling the world. It's about mastering yourself. When you do, the world starts to bend around your calm. Opportunities align. People respect you differently, not because you demand it, but because your energy commands it. You radiate something rare, certainty. And certainty is magnetic. It draws in everything you once chased and repels everything that once broke you. But you have to choose it again and again, every day, especially on the days it feels impossible. Especially when your heart is heavy and your patience is thin. That's when your strength is being measured. That's when your future self is watching, waiting to see if you'll hold your ground or fold back into the noise. You can't afford to give in, not now. Not after everything you've already overcome. You've worked too hard to become this calm, this focused, this untouchable. One moment of reaction can destroy what took years to build, but one moment of restraint can define the rest of your life. So breathe. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them project. None of it can touch you unless you let it. You've learned how to stand still in chaos, how to be unbothered in the storm, how to find peace when the world is screaming for your reaction. That's your power. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. And when the world sees that nothing moves you anymore, something shifts. You become the calm they can't disrupt, the energy they can't match, the standard they can't reach. You stop chasing validation because you've built something greater, inner certainty. And once you have that, no one's opinion, no failure, no storm can take it away. You've mastered the art of acting as if nothing bothers you, and in doing so, you've become the kind of person nothing can break. One day you'll wake up and realize the fight is no longer outside of you. It's inside. The war isn't with them, it's with the voice that tells you to react, to defend, to prove. That voice has ruled you for too long. It fed on every insult, every doubt, every memory that made you question your worth. But now, it's time to silence it, not with noise, but with control. Every time you choose not to respond, not to explain, not to let the world pull you out of character, you win another inch of your peace back. You take one more step toward becoming unbreakable. The truth is, most people never get there. They live their whole lives reacting, letting the world dictate how they feel, how they move, who they become. They're prisoners of their emotions, slaves to other people's opinions. But you're not most people. You've seen what chaos does. You've felt the exhaustion of caring too much, of being too available, too reactive, too easily moved. That version of you can't survive where you're going. You're building something too powerful, too rare, too disciplined for that. When you start acting as if nothing bothers you, you're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. You start to see who truly matters and what truly deserves your time. You stop chasing temporary comfort and start building permanent peace. You realize that not everything deserves a reaction. Not every battle needs to be fought. Not every opinion has to be corrected. You're not here to explain yourself. You're here to evolve, to rise quietly while they're still talking, to build while they're still watching, to walk away not because you're weak, but because you've outgrown the need to prove your strength. And yes, it's hard. It's hard to stay calm when everything in you wants to explode. It's hard to be silent when lies are spoken about you. It's hard to walk away when you know you could destroy them with a few words. But that's the test. That's the separation. Power isn't found in the explosion. It's in the restraint. The one who controls their tongue controls their world. The one who masters their emotions becomes untouchable. Every time you choose composure over reaction, you rise above the level of those who tried to pull you down. You've got to understand this. Control isn't built in comfort, it's forged in chaos. Every unfair moment, every rejection, every betrayal is a training ground for your strength. The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. It's showing you where you still hand away your power. It's teaching you how to remain centered even when the ground shakes beneath you. Because once you learn that, once you master yourself to that level, you become unstoppable. Nothing outside you can destroy what's been built within you. That's why you can't give up now. You're closer than you think. The silence you've learned, the patience you've practiced, the self-restraint you've built, it's all leading somewhere. It's leading to the version of you that no longer reacts, no longer begs to be understood, no longer gives away energy just to feel seen. That version of you is powerful, peaceful, and free. That version of you doesn't chase peace. They are peace. So when life pushes you, stay calm. When people doubt you, stay focused. When everything feels like it's falling apart, stay grounded. Because that's the moment your new self is being born. You're not losing control. You're taking it back. You're no longer reacting to the world. You're shaping it with your silence, your composure, your unshakable energy. They'll never see it coming. They'll never understand how you do it. They'll just feel it, the quiet strength, the unwavering certainty, the peace that doesn't break no matter what happens. That's what you've been building all along. That's what acting as if nothing bothers you really means. It's not pretending. It's power. It's the highest form of control, the deepest form of confidence, the purest form of peace. And once you reach that point, you'll never go back, because nothing and no one will ever have power over you again. There's a moment when you stop chasing peace and start becoming it. When you no longer look for calm in others because you've built it inside yourself. That's the shift. The moment the world stops owning your emotions, you stop explaining, you stop reacting, you stop proving, you start existing in a space so steady that chaos can't find a way in. That's not pretending you're fine, that's mastery. Because control over yourself is the highest form of freedom you'll ever experience. But freedom doesn't come cheap. It costs you every version of yourself that needed to be liked, every piece of your pride that wanted to win arguments, every drop of energy wasted trying to be understood by people who were never meant to understand you. It's not an easy trade. You'll feel the urge to slip back into old habits, to fight for validation, to prove your worth through noise. Don't. That's where most people lose themselves. At the edge of transformation, when the silence starts to feel too heavy. But if you can hold it, if you can stay still long enough to trust your calm, you'll cross into something powerful. You'll find the strength to live above the noise, not inside it. People will try to pull you back. They'll miss the version of you that reacted, the one they could control, the one who took everything personally. But that version is gone. You've seen too much to go back. You've learned that every reaction is an invitation to chaos, and you're not accepting that invitation anymore. Your peace has become too valuable to be traded for temporary emotions. And that's what makes you dangerous, because the world can't control what it can't disturb. You felt the sting of judgment. You felt the weight of being misunderstood. You've tasted the frustration of staying silent when you could have spoken fire. But you chose calm. You chose stillness. You chose growth. That choice, repeated 100 times in moments of pressure, is what transforms you every second you don't react. You're teaching your mind to obey you. Every moment you breathe instead of break, you're rewriting your story. That's how warriors are built, not through battle, but through restraint. And the truth is, your silence speaks volumes. It tells the world that you don't need their approval to know your worth. It tells the world that your peace isn't up for negotiation. It tells the world that you've outgrown the need to be understood. You stop explaining yourself, you start elevating yourself, because peace is a frequency, and only those who've mastered themselves can stay tuned to it. You can feel it, can't you? That pull inside you that wants more. Not more noise, not more attention, more peace, more strength, more focus. You're tired of giving your power away to every opinion, every slight, every meaningless distraction. You're ready to rise above it, to stop letting life control you and start controlling how you move through it. That's the moment everything changes. Because once you realize how rare true composure is, you'll guard it like it's sacred. The world will keep testing you, trying to see if the calm is real. But every test is just another chance to prove that you've changed, that the noise no longer dictates your response, that you've learned to breathe through it, to let it pass without letting it penetrate your peace. That's real confidence, not the kind you show, but the kind you live, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself because it's undeniable. And when you reach that level of control, everything else falls into place. Your relationships shift, your goals sharpen, your presence commands respect without a single word. You become the type of person people can't shake because they can't figure you out. They can't find your weakness because you've stopped giving it away. You've stopped letting the world pull emotions from you like strings on a puppet. You've learned to hold your energy, to protect it, to own it. So the next time the world tries to provoke you, remember this. Calm is not the absence of emotion. It's the mastery of it. Peace is not something you wait for. It's something you build with every decision to stay unbothered. Act as if nothing bothers you, not because you're pretending, but because you've finally realized nothing truly can. You've grown beyond the noise, beyond the doubt, beyond the reach of anything that once controlled you. You've become the calm in the storm. And when you live there, when nothing shakes you anymore, you've already won.